Welcome to the SNN.Network Canada virtual event. I'd like to introduce our next presenter, Rob Chase of MediaValet. Sir, the floor is yours.
Thank you, I appreciate it. And thank you to everyone for joining us today. Looking forward to any questions you have as well along the way, so don't be shy. Just happy to give an introduction to MediaValet for you here today. So with that, just a reminder, of course, that the standard safe harbor clauses apply with respect to future and forward-looking statements. So we'll keep that in mind. And sorry, my slide is advancing slowly here. Bear with us for a moment. While I deal with my connectivity here, which seems to be slowing down, would like to just get started. Up on the first slide, when we get there, you'll see MediaValet. We're in the digital asset management space, which is definitely a exciting growth area with as all organizations are moving to be more and more digital today. So the more digital everybody gets, the more they need a digital asset management system to look after all the digital content that they need to be effective in their in a digital world. That's a bit of a tailwind here that we're experiencing, and certainly an area where we've been investing heavily. As you'll see here, the key thing to keep in mind, we have been growing our annual recurring revenue at a 5-year 47% CAGR. We've just cracked through the $10 million mark in annual recurring revenue, which is a bit of an inflection point for SaaS, and one that often is a turning point where SaaS organizations now have the scale and the foundation in order to be able to tackle their growth opportunity in a larger way. So we're very excited to have reached that point. We've been able to almost double our headcount this year. We finished up 2020 with 59 employees, and we were at 91 at the end of September, and I would say we're at about 100 today. So pretty much doubling the foundational base here as we lean in heavily to the future. And we're doing that because, obviously, we believe there's a fantastic opportunity within DAM for us long term, and that we've got a great opportunity to go and win a lion's share of that in the future. And sorry, it's on the wrong slide. I'm going to go back one. And with a backdrop of being able to lean into our business here and increase the headcount, as we mentioned, we do have $10.3 million in working capital on the balance sheet, so we're in a great position to go and fund our growth, and we're intentionally investing in the future at the expense of profitability today to build a much bigger opportunity and tackle that DAM market in the future. Moving on here, the next slide with the digital asset management market. As I mentioned earlier, it's been an exciting growth market for us, and one that we've believe we've got a great chance at building into a leadership position within. The industry experts are expecting this industry to grow to $10 billion by 2026 from about $4.3 billion in 2021. So exciting growth market for us, and exciting also for us that last year the same analysts estimated that from 2020 to 2021 the market grew about 19%. And conversely, we've grown 33% in U.S. dollars, so we're outpacing the growth in the market, grabbing a bigger market share each and every quarter as we continue to push our product and vision forward for our digital asset management system. And again, the tailwinds for this being, of course, as we've all gone remote with thanks to COVID, which actually was a really interesting thing for operationally for businesses, and truly enabled us to finally realize the value that tech has always promised us to be able to untether from the office. Up to that point, we still went into the office and just were now available at all times outside of the office. So now people are actually able to work from home and be just as effective, or work remotely and touch back into the office intermittently to get the connectivity with face-to-face time that they desire and need. But we're perfectly capable of fully operating remotely, which means that you have to be extremely good with your digital strategy if you're going to succeed in the future. And if you're going to be good at your digital strategy, you have to have great content that needs to be fresh and dynamic and on point and on time, and be able to be circulated by everybody in your organization. to all of the stakeholders that you want to reach and inform about your business. So in order to do that, you got to be really good at content, and to be good at content, you need a digital asset management system to hold those assets and make sure that you can be effective. One of our recent wins that we just announced was a high education institution in Latin America, who's in their home country rated the most innovative in their country. And they had, 3 years ago in 2018, started rolling out a Microsoft strategy to enable them to go fully cloud. And when they did so, by 2020, when COVID hit, they were able to take 80,000 courses online almost immediately. But here's an organization that has, at its disposal and as a key strategy, going digital. So it can pretty much access almost any tool it needs to be successful in that. And obviously realized the importance of DAM and became a customer in September here with MediaValet. So that, it's exciting to see, an innovative leader like that realize just how important DAM is, and also realize that MediaValet is best for them in that scenario. And if we go to the next slide, it kind of gives you a little reason, a little bit of an overview as to why, which is, if you look at how Gartner has, Corey, if you're driving, if you could forward the animations just so they all come up. But Gartner, has put us up and to the right in terms of being an enterprise solution, one of the most enterprise plus the most flexible for a cloud DAM. That's a pretty impressive place to be in. A lot of our competitors are more SMB product focused, so they're not as much of a solution and don't as easily handle the enterprise use case, which is where we thrive. And organizations like the one I just mentioned indeed have an enterprise use case because of the importance of their digital strategy to them and their success long term. And I think that that's the way the market's going to be going. It's going to continue to evolve, we believe, in our direction with most of the organizations requiring an enterprise use case because of the importance of their digital strategy. We're even seeing that today where we're getting more and more SMB opportunities in addition to the traditional mid-enterprise where we've thrived, that are realizing they need not only a DAM but one that can be have the flexibility, security, and scale of an enterprise DAM. So we believe that's the right place to play in the market and a big piece of why we win. Next slide, Corey, on slide 6 there. Part of the way we look at it is this DAM maturity model where we've built out MediaValet to enable to take customers on a full journey from chaos, which is where they often start. An example of that would be, by the way, 85% of our market is greenfield, so these are organizations that are newly coming into DAM. And oftentimes the scenario is like we added an airport authority last year, $100,000+ a year account for us, and they were managing 20 terabytes of digital media on SharePoint, Dropbox, local drives, all over the place. And of course, in an airport authority type of arrangement, you've got all sorts of placards all around the airport that need to be put in the right place at the right time with the right materials. You've got your advertisements externally on billboards, etc. Plus, you've got online, you've got the in-flight magazines, in-flight TV, etc. Quite a complicated job of figuring out which assets need to go where, and then finding those assets, and then when you need to adjust those assets, figuring out where the heck you save them between SharePoint, Dropbox, and individual drives. It gets to be a very costly endeavor and one that's hard to be effective at. So this organization now has all of that content in MediaValet and is able to automatically connect it to where it needs to be through integrations from MediaValet directly into the other tools they use, making them extremely effective and giving them not only a chance at being excellent from their go-to-market digital strategy perspective, but also freeing up marketing to focus on things that really add value as opposed to running around trying to figure out which assets go where. So, that's kind of the typical chaos starting point. We take them into a siloed, pretty much instantly world where marketing can be effective, like I just explained. But ultimately, we want to make sure that we're getting connected into their entire stack of marketing tools to enable them to be as effective as possible. And in doing so, what we end up with is an increasing annual contract value and an increasing stickiness within our customer population. And we're kind of looking at the DAM maturity uniquely within the DAM market, and it really is resonating well with customers. And once they start to understand the opportunity for them to progress, they actually want to go on that journey with us, which really is exciting because it gives us the opportunity to increase ACV and upsell and expand our customers. Ultimately, we want to get what we call to converged, which means you're in a fully omnipresent world in terms of your content. And as an example would be you're typing an email, and as you're typing along the right-hand side of the screen, relevant content is popping up to help populate your message. It's similar to how you might have a Google search completing your sentence, for example, right? But we'll be doing it with content. That's kind of the long tail on this, and where we're leaning in heavily with some of our R&D investments to be able to take customers all the way to there, which is, I think, different from how most other DAMs are looking at the world. And really, today, it's the genius brands who are already wanting to be there, but a lot of the other organizations don't even realize that they're going to need to be there yet. So that's an exciting opportunity for us to, again, lead the market. We are definitely seen as innovators in the space, and have been first to market with a lot of new and innovative solutions for digital asset management, already to date. So will be exciting to deliver more as we go. Next slide, please. As I mentioned earlier, a lot of this is about some of these integrations that we have. So ideally, your digital asset management system, yes, it holds all the content, but in a perfect world, it could even be headless, meaning you don't even ever really have to go into it. You're able to access it through other systems that you rely on it day to day, and through doing so, you can ensure that it can be easily adopted across your entire population. And in fact, that's an area where we differ as well, is that we give unlimited users. And really what we want is we want everybody in your organization to be able to access the DAM and become part of their day-to-day to make sure that's how you're going to be the most effective, right? And so being able to be integrated into other systems is what helps facilitate that as well. We recently announced a couple new integrations. Monday.com, highlighted in green there. We're very excited about that. We believe they'll be a great partner for us. They have 127,000 customers. They're now a reselling partner. Plus, we have an exciting integration with them that I think over time, as we continue to build it out, will really be a differentiator for both companies. So we're excited about that, and they just launched recently. The reason that we went and tried to find an organization like Monday to work with is because we were having great success with Wrike, who's also in the marketing workflow space, same as Monday, and they've been a great synergistic partner for us. It's interesting to see when there's a good product alignment, it naturally draws customers to you. So we're hoping to see the same with Monday. It could be very exciting for us. And also, just recently, we announced Azure Marketplace as well, integrating there. Being fully certified on the Microsoft Azure Marketplace enables us to be sold there and take advantage of the new initiatives Microsoft has recently driven for Azure, which they've reduced their commission rates on product they sell to 3%. They give their sales team credit now when a sale comes through the marketplace, and they're also allowing customers to utilize their Microsoft Azure contract commitments to purchase other solutions from Marketplace, which is pretty exciting. Oftentimes organizations are left with credits of 50,000, say, at the end of a year on their Azure contract, and those credits go away once those prepaid credits go away at the end of the year, and they have to re-up the next year. So being able to apply that excess credit to purchase of MediaValet through the Azure Marketplace is pretty exciting. So we're excited about those two initiatives that have just launched. And again, all of this helps us to be more integrated into the customer's environment. Next slide, please, Corey. So as we continue on here, looking at the proven success, obviously our ARR has been growing nicely. We now have over 360 customers. We're industry agnostic. Really, our ideal customer is selling today to the marketing team and giving them a chance to integrate this into their marketing stack, right? I mean, that's the key focus. So that use case or the problem that we're solving, applies in all industries, especially as everybody basically now has to be expert at being digital. And also, it's equally all geographies. While we're located in Canada, our marketing obviously reaches worldwide, and consequently, we win customers worldwide. We're not specifically trying to build out in, the Asian regions nor the, Latin Americas, et cetera, today. But, we do find that a lot of opportunity comes our way there, the low-hanging fruit, if you will. So it's great to see. Again, our ACV has been growing. It's up 37% since 2018. Our customer range is anywhere from less than $10,000 a year, U.S., all the way up to over $500,000 a year. So it really depends on how large the customer is, how many features that they need to include in their package to determine, where they'll land in that spectrum. But, it certainly is exciting to see our ACV climbing. At the same time, with our enterprise use case, what we're finding is there's more and more small opportunities coming as well as organizations, again, realize that they do have an enterprise use case even in an SMB world. So we're excited to see both ends of the market being available to us there. Our net retention rates have dollar retention has hung around 97%, which, in our view is very good in light of COVID. A lot of organizations have been hit hard in this era. And prior to COVID hitting, we were at 100% net retention and believe that we've sort of set the stage to get back there again here as we move forward. Next slide, please. Just like a couple of examples of some customer wins here. First one you see here is Jane Goodall Foundation. We're very proud of this relationship. Obviously, she has an amazing legacy, but this speaks to some of our innovativeness, and specifically with respect to Jane Goodall. We've been able to work with Microsoft, Jane Goodall, and Oxford University to actually apply AI facial recognition to primates. I mean, this is something that's never been available before. It's a very challenging area for AI. We can do facial recognition very well, but when it comes to fuzzy critters, it's next to impossible, and any other animals outside of humans. So, it's really exciting now to be in this project with Jane Goodall and to actually enable them to apply facial recognition principles to primates, being able now to not only bring their assets and their libraries into one central repository versus today or prior to us where they were located around the world and totally separate, but also to bring in notes and to actually be able to follow now the life of the chimp in pictures and photos that you never even knew were there before. I mean, this is 60 years of photo history. So very exciting, and ultimately, once that's all done, we'll be in a position to open up and have a human knowledge base for the entire scientific community to draw upon, which would be hugely exciting for the future of humanity and Jane's legacy. So very exciting, and encompasses some innovative things here for us. Next slide, please. And I'll quickly cover just a couple more. The next one's a home audio organization, one of the leading ones in the world, brand name that you would all know well. And, been very exciting to be selected by them. Again, they're a tech-savvy organization. They have AutoCAD integration as well with us that uniquely we offer in the DAM space. And, excited to be selected by organizations like that are thought leaders in their space and highly technical. So, again, speaking to our ability to be enterprise grade and also the importance of DAM. Again, next slide is the education institution that I referred to earlier, and slide after that is actually a bowling organization that is been a great customer. Just an example of a smaller customer win, and again that we can reach down, and it's surprising the type of organizations obviously that are realizing the importance of the sound digital strategy. Next one, Corey, is a community bank that's located around the states. Again, just maybe not ones you would intuitively think of. So the common thread here being the marketing need to be able to be effective digitally is the common thread. Next slide. I mentioned already some of our partnerships and channel partners. So about 14% of our new customer wins were generated by our partners, which means they're sourced through them. So either they referred them directly to us or they closed the deal and brought it to us. What we also look at, though, and I kind of referred to this when I mentioned Wrike, is that when there's a good synergistic fit to the products, oftentimes the customers will see that it's there, and in Wrike's case, Wrike's customers will come direct to us as well, and have us at the top of the list in terms of potential vendors just because of that relationship. And those are what we call influence deals. And when we look at those, another 26% has been coming of our deals have been coming through influence. So really, partnerships are accounting for about 40% of our business overall, which is exciting, and exciting that we've been able to add Monday and the Microsoft Azure Marketplace, and also another one that I didn't mention, which is FFW. They're in the website management space. Very excited for that one. They're the number 2 in the world in Drupal 8 implementations for your website content management, and the number 1 in the world, an organization named Acquia, just recently bought a company called Widen, which was one of our competitors. So they've realized the importance of DAM for their business, and I think it's great to see that FFW has seen the same, and hopefully we'll see great success with them there. Next slide is just the financials again. We've got revenue up 24% for the quarter and 26% for the year. ARR, annual recurring revenue, up 26%. But this is just important to note that we report in Canadian dollars, while almost all of our contracts are in U.S. dollars. So we actually grew our U.S. dollar annual recurring revenue by 33%. So the underlying business is growing faster than what you see reported here in Canadian dollars, and I think that'll correct as the currency stabilizes here. Again, on the OpEx side, as I mentioned earlier, we're pretty much seeking this year to double our operational foundation, and you see it in the numbers there with 58% increase year to date in our OpEx. And again, that's intentional. That's because we want to get out ahead of things. We have the growth capital with 10 million in working capital to go and do it, and that's our key focus. We believe there's such a large opportunity here that the faster we can lean in and the bigger we can lean in, the better long-term result will be for MediaValet. So we're happy to sacrifice short-term cash flow, which you see there, obviously increasing our net loss, in exchange for that bigger opportunity in the future, and that's our intent. Next slide, please, Corey. And keeping spend in context, again, this just shows you the percentage of revenue we spend in the various areas. And, just to note that long-term, we have a view of where it's going to go. And so we're, as you can see from the key bank capital markets, greater than $75 million U.S. revenue companies. This is, they kind of land lower on a per revenue basis for sales and marketing and R&D. We realize that we'll get there over time. We're going to get out ahead in the short term, as you see for this year to date. Next slide, please, Corey. And just finishing up on the market capitalization, and the revenue multiples and things you see there, we think it's pretty well positioned from a value perspective at this point. It's simply because, obviously relative to peers, we're trading well below, yet I believe we have a great growth profile and opportunity ahead of us. So hoping we can continue to deliver for shareholders. and continue to deliver increasing shareholder value, which obviously is very near and dear to our hearts, given we own 31% inside as well. So we're working hard to do that and shoulder to shoulder with investors there. So with that, I see there's a couple questions. Corey, would you mind moderating those?
Absolutely. Can you hear me all right?
Yep.
Fantastic. Our first question asks if you could expand on the partnerships with Monday.com and Azure more, and how revenue flows to MediaValet in these partnerships.
Great question. So let's talk Monday first, and it's the easier one to talk because it's more proven for us. Again, it's really replicating Wrike. Now, Monday has a more established partnering team than Wrike did, and seems to be a great fit for us organizationally. So the first thing is that we are building an integration into into Monday, and they're doing some work on their side as well to make sure that's as smooth as possible. We have a roadmap on that. Version 1 is out now. It's pretty simple. It's just pushing assets back and forth. But in the future, by the time we finish our roadmap, it'll be fully two-way solution or integration that enables you to access the other tool directly from whichever tool you happen to be in, which will be a world where everything's as streamlined as possible. And we're excited that they want to work with us on that roadmap. The way that the economics work, so that dev piece is all on our own dime, right? The way the economics work, and by the way, it's not overly onerous either. So that's not a huge piece. But the key working together is obviously we're going to do co-marketing things together to go and reach out to their customers, and so are we to our customers, and that'll generate opportunities with them, right? And we'll be also working with their sales team to go and identify opportunities. They will just refer those to us, or they may close them on their own, and there's a percentage as a referral fee or a reseller fee that they keep depending on which of those two spectrums they're in. So they might keep anywhere from 5 to 20% of the opportunity. And the customer will book with us. So we'll book the deal and pay Monday their share. And the last piece of that, though, is we do expect that their customers also will see this integration, and when they realize they need a DAM, will reach out as an influenced opportunity for us as well. There are no economics other than us, of course, in that case, hopefully booking a new customer and invoicing them directly. So business as usual for us, and we think it could be a great opportunity to drive additional value, particularly if it operates anywhere close to what Wrike has been for us. The next one is Microsoft Azure Marketplace, and this is new for us because traditionally we've had a great technology relationship with Microsoft, but not necessarily a great go-to-market one. So this gets us into a strategic area for them to go and try and monetize that relationship to a greater extent. For us, such a big organization, it's harder to see exactly which levers we're going to pull to do what. But if we are able to figure it all out, it could dwarf what we do with Monday. So, we're a little bit more TBD on that, but to give you an idea of what we are doing to monetize, we are going out to their 1,200 managed accounts in Canada and marketing to them. So, they will be able to go on to Azure Marketplace, buy MediaValet for the price that's listed, and Microsoft will just remit 97% of that to us, right? So that is how the economics will work there. But for the customer, they could be using up their Azure credits, as I mentioned earlier, and effectively not have to pay anything to go and buy MediaValet. So excited for that opportunity and to go and start building that go-to-market with Microsoft in that regard.
Thank you, Rob. We are pushing up on time here, so on that note, we'll be sure to follow up ourselves with any remaining questions, and I'll hand it to you to close up shop here.
Wonderful. Thanks, Corey, and thanks everybody for listening in. Appreciate the opportunity from the SNN folks, and hope this was valuable for you. We are available. Next slide, Corey. I am available for you to reach out to if you do have questions. As Corey mentioned, you can either go to Corey or myself, and happy to field your calls or questions. We're here to service the market and make sure you've got a means to getting your questions answered and understanding the opportunity more. So happy to receive you. Anyway, with that, thanks everybody. Enjoy the rest of the conference and hope to see some of you in one-on-ones.